everybody.
Give me 1 second. There we go. Well, very, very happy Friday to you guys. May the 13th, wherever you guys are tuning in, wherever you guys are listening in from, we thank you and welcome you to another episode of Justin and Trey here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. I am Justin. I'll be bringing you guys a full 2-hour content of updates of sports. You listen, it's been a week, and I'll explain why here in a minute, but we have a lot of sports to talk about while the Reds, listen, they're finally getting some bats rolling, some big wins. We'll go over that and what to expect in tonight's ball game as they square off against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Florence Y'alls get ready to set off today. They is a local Northern Kentucky team in Florence, Kentucky. They will be playing in a minor league game today that I believe Trey's going to get into. We'll talk a little bit about professional wrestling as we get back in the swing of things. We also have MLB, NBA playoffs. We have NHL playoffs. We'll get you those updates and highlights. Listen, I feel terrible, you guys, and I do want to apologize to each and every one of you guys, the listeners. It's been a week since we've been on air, and that's because, listen, it takes a process. It takes equipment to run what we run, and especially as we've grown. Simply just putting a phone on the table and speaking into it is a little different. Little different than what we do here on a day-to-day basis. The last Thursday night where we were at, we had a nasty rainstorm, and the rainstorm went. I live on the 3rd floor of my apartment complex, and the rainstorm. Each time it happens, I deal with where there's leakage in the ceilings, and there's a couple of areas where there was a new generator leak that came right above the studio area that came right down onto my laptop. And it's kind of one of those scenarios where, okay, you start upgrading your stuff. I was working on a slow, like ancient dinosaur laptop that was not able to hold much of anything. We couldn't do much, all the typing. It took literally hours to do the process to get a show up and running. Well, got my tax returns this year, upgraded my laptop, got a better one. And now what we were able to, do a lot more things. You get pop-ups, you get commercial breaks, all that fun stuff for you guys. Well, water damage got onto my good laptop back on Thursday, so I had to turn that in. And the problem is that all of my social media connections, my logins, are just strictly to this laptop because I'm on it periodically throughout the day. So when that went away, I was really separated from the show to the show. So I had trouble trying to connect to you guys, and I do apologize. It's been a long week, finally up and running, trying to get a routine going again, and it really gets you out of, Trey's been on vacation. He got back last week. He'll be joining us this weekend. And so we're going to get back into it, see how things go. Okay. We have, like I said, like I mentioned, we have a lot to talk about. One of the biggest things that we're going to be talking about today, and I think there's going to be conversations as we try to update you guys, get you guys going in the flow again, of things that get talked about one day, and then there's conversations I think we're going to be talking about throughout the week, or at least over the weekend, because it's the multiple opinions. For example, last night was a huge night. I don't know if you guys paid attention. If that means anything to you guys in May, this is actually the first time for me that in the month of May, when I hear about the NFL schedule being released, I'm all up to date about that. I had the Cincinnati Bengals schedule here. We'll briefly touch base of it. I'll cover some of my opinions here, and I want to save a lot of that conversation for Trey, who, like I said, will be joining us this weekend as we start making our way back into things, and because I want to get his take as a Cincinnati Bengals fan. But I have the Sunday night football, Thursday night football, and Monday night football all written down here. So we will cover all that to you as well. We're going to get you guys ready for SmackDown. My question is to you: has RK Bro just set themselves up for a dramatic or epic change in their tag team performance? And the reason why I ask that is because they are the ones who are now initiating going onto SmackDown, going into the Bloodlines territory to challenge the Usos for a unification tag team title match. Now, with the streak and how hot and how big the Usos or the Bloodline is right now, is that a smart idea to go into a different territory and have to now face the Usos, potentially unifying the tag team titles? I'm not a big fan of unifying the tag team titles to begin with. I'm not big about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar unifying those titles. Okay, and that's going to be a whole nother issue, as Roman Reigns is now undersigned a new mega contract for the WWE, and we'll talk about that breakdown. I'll give you my thoughts on that. Okay, I think my thoughts are going to be a little bit different than yours, but let's find out. We're also going to talk about the 76ers being knocked out of the playoffs last night as they lost to the Miami Heat. Now, I know the Heats are good. I just don't know how good realistically, how good they are. Was it the Heats being good, or was it the 76ers not performing? Joel Embiid, come on. He's playing with a broken face, and he's trying to carry this NBA team. Well, news here. You could only do so much. Then you get a guy like James Harden who could only put up 4 points a game the entire series. I think the only good game that he had was game 4 of the series, and where he put up 18 points. When you have two top guys, one of them goes out, and the other guy got to step up. That's just how it is. Okay, let's not sugarcoat it. Let me ask you this: has James Harden, has he lost his edge? Has he lost his touch? He's not the player he once was. And I'm not bashing James Harden because he's a terrible player. No, I respect James Harden, but you have to come to reality a little bit and come to discover yourself if the guy's going to perform, because you're expecting a top guy like James Harden to perform in the postseason, to keep your team alive, and they failed at that tremendously. Who won out of that big trade? The 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets? That's a good one. So we have a lot to talk about. We're just going to kind of ease on in. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys want to head into today? I have baseball to talk about. I have football to talk about, which I'll have plenty of to talk about. We have updates on basketball. We have some wrestling to talk about. I really watched, I got a chance. I haven't watched a lot of Dynamite, the last, or AEW just in general, the last few weeks. I tuned into a little bit back on Wednesday, and I got a chance to watch such an incredible match between Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy. I thought that was pretty impressive. I really enjoyed. They just threw each other around the ring, and it was like just simple as business. You guys are tuning in. Come in, say hi. If you guys are on our YouTube channel, we thank you. Come on into the chat. Say hi to us. Don't be shy. And let's have some fun conversations here today. Okay, so some of these conversations, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about some of these things throughout the entire weekend. Okay, I want to know for you guys, it's been a few weeks. I want to know how long can the WWE last? Okay, without a main title on the Raw brand, on the so-called flagship show. How long can the WWE last without a main title on Raw? Okay. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns has a unification match. And I told you guys from the beginning that this is only going to work selective ways. Now I told you guys back at WrestleMania, I was like, listen, I appreciate, I acknowledge the fact where Roman Reigns stands. I acknowledge what he has been able to accomplish. And I have come to the acceptance of Roman Reigns. Okay, he carried 2021 on his shoulders. He created the bloodline. He created a couple incredible trademarks, which I practically own all the t-shirts now. And he's made his mark. Now, I thought, okay, especially if you're looking for the future, normally when you have a run as big as Roman Reigns did last year, all right, where he's now the face of the company, you normally at WrestleMania time, this is not, have your WrestleMania moment. Let's drop the title and let's give you your rest that you need, that you deserve. So I was telling you guys prior to WrestleMania that in my opinion, I thought that putting the title on Brock Lesnar was the better option. Because if, like I said, hypothetically, if you guys were to have Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania next year, you don't need that title on the line to make any statement, any point. Okay? The Rock and Roman is such a big match that you don't need any championships on the line. And who else does Roman Reigns drop that title to by the time we get to WrestleMania? Talk about Cody Rhodes. There's a few names on that list. But the WWE decides to put the title on Roman Reigns. Okay, so now I'm expecting the champion. I mean, you're now combining the two titles into one, that now either he's going to be jumping brands back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, or WWE is going to have another title on Monday Night Raw. It's been 6 weeks since WrestleMania. We have yet to see another title be introduced for Raw. We have not seen Roman Reigns defend his title, and under his new contract circumstance that we'll be talking about here in a little bit, we won't see Roman Reigns defend his title until Money in the Bank, which is still another month or two out. So my question to you is, was at the end of the day, was this the right decision for the WWE? I'm not saying that Roman Reigns deserves this new contract. He has. He's been in the business for a decade. He's battled leukemia. He's been through hell and back. He's kind of been in an image, the same path and same, story for like a John Cena. But now we're going to be, I feel like we're now starting to see consequences after all this. So I want to get more into that when we come back from break. I still want to ask you guys, like I said, all week long question here. How long can the WWE last without having a main title on Raw? Okay. Don't get me wrong. Austin Theory is doing great. They're pushing him up, and we'll talk about him this weekend for sure. but it's the WWE after finding out that Roman Reigns is going to be a part-timer for now. Okay, his new contract is a part-time. Let's not sugarcoat it. All right, I hear this all the time through other podcasters. Oh, I don't like Brock Lesnar being a part-timer. Ronda Rousey's being a part-timer. Okay, well, his contract, Roman Reigns' contract, is a part-time contract. Okay, Edge may be a part-timer. Well, Roman Reigns is a part-timer. He only shows up to certain venues whenever he pleases. Okay. Let's talk about that. We want to talk about Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley. Also want to talk about fans getting behind MJF. I want to get into that story as well. That's on the wrestling side of things. But when we come back, we'll disclose and talk more about this big new contract that Roman Reigns signed. So you guys sit tight. We'll take you guys up until 4 o'clock. Justin and Trey continues right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We'd like to give a shout out to StreamYard, the prom home of Justin and Trey. StreamYard Studios is where you could create podcasts, YouTube videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version at StreamYard.com. All right. Welcome back, you guys, here on Justin and Trey. Trey's still out. He returned earlier this week. I was over at his house talking some wrestling subjects here, and it was just there was just updating on some of the stories that was going around professional wrestling, and something that we'll be looking to get into and deep into. But one of the things that we really brought up to attention is that he brought to me was actually the new Roman Reigns' contract. It looks like he does, have this, he's still the big dog, but he's receiving a mega multi-year contract, multi-year deal. And I think it's great. Listen, Roman Reigns has came in, he's paid his dues, he's become the biggest success rate in the last 20 years from anybody else. Okay. There's an article, I believe from the article I had, it's unclear how much Roman Reigns will be earning in his new year. He was the WWE's third highest paid superstar. If you guys have details and numbers, please let me know. But he was the third highest paid superstar in 2018, and he was earning $4.3 million. And that was comparison to the $10 million that John Cena was making. And then, even to the second highest, $6.5 million from Brock Lesnar. Okay. It seems unlikely Roman Reigns would end up leaving WWE. He's taken over as a face of the company, obviously, with Cena's only making sporadic appearances between acting roles. Roman Reigns is 34 years old. He's main evented WrestleMania 4 times in his career. He's tied the Undertaker for the sixth most in events in 35-year history. Since making his main roster in 2010, he's only been here on the main roster for a decade. He has won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship 3 times and the Universal Championship once. So, details I was hearing about Roman Reigns in this contract. And like I said, in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm leaving out any details, let me know. I'll read them and I'll make sure I share them. From my understanding, Roman Reigns has signed a multi-year contract with the WWE that has him basically become more of a part-timer. He's not gonna be at these, he's no longer, he's cutting out the house shows. He's not going to appear on every episode of these shows. He's only going to be at the big venues. He's not even scheduled to be participating at Hell in a Cell. So this is what I see. So he's basically became a part-timer, okay, where his contract is only negotiated to attend certain venues. Now, who does that remind you of? Can that be a John Cena? Can that be a Brock Lesnar? Can that be a Ronda Rousey? So, in my personal opinion, and people are going to probably disagree with me, has Roman Reigns not just put himself in that part-timer position? Now, I mean, I understand. All right, he just got done help keeping WWE alive this past year in 2021 after the fact that that WWE was getting rid of half of their roster. Okay. AEW was on a spasmodic change. Roman Reigns took over, okay, from once the pandemic started settling in 2021, he returned. He helped WWE out significantly. We know that he's the face of the business. We know that for years. We know that Roman Reigns was going to come in and he was going to be the face of the WWE because that's just what that's what he is. Okay, we knew it with the Shield. Okay, they tried it with Seth Rollins. That didn't work out. Nothing wrong with Seth Rollins, and I'll talk about Seth Rollins maybe not today, but on another period because I got a pet peeve to pick at the WWE for Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, but we knew where Roman Reigns is at. Now, like I mentioned, prior to WrestleMania, I was telling you, listen, this guy's been, he's battled through leukemia. He's been through hell and back. He has a family at home. Yeah, he's the face, but he needs time off because this isn't 2004 where John Cena could wrestle for 7 straight years and not affect. I mean, John Cena didn't have a family 15 years ago. Roman Reigns has family. Okay, he has a life. His health conditions are a little bit different than John Cena's. His career path is different than John Cena. The face of the company has changed. And that's okay. I told you this, though. I felt that that Roman Reigns needed a break. All right. And maybe this is just a way to give him that break. But for someone that you're expecting to be in this position for the next, I don't know, I'm assuming, I'm going to say this. I feel that the WWE is going to have Roman Reigns as the top dog for the next 3 to 5 years. That, he's 35 years old. He's going to, the WWE is going to probably rely on him for the next 3 to 5 years. And what has the WWE done instead? So what did they do? Okay, they gave them this mega deal. Like he's earned it. Okay, let's get that out there. He's earned this contract. He's earned this deal. But what has the WWE do instead? They've put the title on him. Now, if Raw had their own title, if the WWE was being viewed and was more of a success, especially in the States, let me put it that way, then I don't see a single issue with this. Okay? You don't know what the status is with Raw. Okay, but here's the thing. Ronda Rousey is the SmackDown Women's Championship now, which hopefully we hear from her tonight on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey is also someone, we don't know her status. How much is she going to be on TV time? Now, I know she's made appearances, but it's one thing to see appearances, is another thing to see fighting champions. And that's what I want to see. I want to see fighting champions in this route. So I don't know where Ronda's going to be sitting at. Now you got Roman Reigns in this picture. You got a potential Ronda Rousey as a part-timer, and then you got a potential Roman Reigns now as a part-timer. Because we know he's not wrestling every month. Do you need Roman Reigns to wrestle every month? I think that's the first question you have to ask. I don't think so, but I will love to see the WWE put up that title more often. I think one of the issues I have is now you have two big titles. You have the SmackDown Women's Championship. You have the WWE Unified Champion being on SmackDown, and there's nothing really there for Raw. So it's not like, okay, Roman Reigns is going to be taking that back seat while Raw has their own title being presented. So, okay. I'm trying to just think. I want to word this correctly. This is kind of, I guess, where I'm at. I guess it leads me into this. What's the next step for WWE? Because Roman Reigns will not have a title defense until Money in the Bank, which is 2 months out or a month and a half out. So what does this mean for the WWE? Is there any plan? Do we see the WWE bringing in a new title or bringing back an old title? I mean, that's the question. And how long can the WWE go without that? That's another question to ask. I don't know. I want you guys to weigh in. Let me know what you guys think about Roman Reigns' new contract. I'm wishy-washy because I want to see Roman Reigns. I want to see that title defended. But here's the thing. If you're putting him part-time, you don't need him on. Okay, I get it. You don't need him on the show every week, but you don't need him. You shouldn't have put the title on him. You should have just put the title on Brock. Because you're going to have to find a way to get that title off of him. And right now, who's that guy who could beat him? Drew McIntyre? Unlikely. So what's the dynamic plan? Now I just feel it's the twist and turns that the WWE has given me that it's just pulling out that wrong vibe. Justin and Trey continue here right on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. TNC Sports Talk is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, going over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. Save 20% and free worldwide shipping with promo code TNC20 at manscaped.com. That is 20%. All right, you guys, 20%. Let's not forget 20%. And free worldwide shipping at manscaped.com with promo code TNC20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job at Manscaped. Listen to Trey here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining us. Trey is out today. He's gonna be going head up the Florence Y'all's ball game, which I'm a little jealous. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I want to go out there. Kind of do. Kind of don't. I don't know. It's nice and warm out. I'm not used to this new weather. So far I'm handling it pretty well. But man, this weather right now is starting to already get to me, and we're already in the midst of May. Florence Y'alls take on the Tri-City Valley Cats, and yesterday was their opening day. And Dennis Phipps hit a two-run home run, and Brad Zunica, that's a familiar name from Lake Elsinore, also hit a solo shot in a 4-run top of the first inning. The Tri-City went to beat the Florence Y'alls last night 7-4 on opening day. Phipps Set the Valley's Cats single season record for home runs last year with 21. Carson McCuster's RBI double in the first gave the Tri-City a 4-0 lead. In the Valley Cats extended it to 5-0 at the top of the third, and on an RBI single by Juan Silverero. They continue. They play tonight at 7:03. First pitch. Gates open up an hour early. So, I was talking to Trey about that earlier yesterday, because he was like, well, why are these tickets, why are these passes why are they opening up the gates late? And I told Trey, I was like, listen, this is not no Major League Baseball game. This isn't the Cincinnati Reds. Now, normally the Reds games, if your season, like I went to, and it happens, usually it's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at most. If you are a season ticket holder, you bought that exclusive pack, which is usually expensive, then what you're looking for is maybe a 2.5 hour entrance early. I went to the Cyclones game. I've been to a couple of them this season, and they usually let the season ticket holders in about a half an hour early before everyone else. The Bengals, I believe, and I don't correct them if I'm wrong, believe they open up the seats, the stadium 90 minutes prior to the game. But and the season ticket holders, they go in. Now, what they get to enjoy are the batting practice. They'll enjoy more of that exclusive stuff. But they open up an hour before. Okay, really not a lot of time to waste. They want you to get in, get your stuff situated, give you an hour, go use the restroom, find your seats, get something to eat, get something to drink, and then just head on, and then just start the game. You got to remember, this isn't Major League Baseball. This is more of a minor league baseball, and it's a new environment. And listen, with how the Reds are playing, I don't blame you. Do you really? I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the Florence Yalls get a bigger attendance this year than they did last year, especially with how the Reds are playing, especially with how the Reds owners and managers are carrying themselves. Now, I mean, listen, the Reds actually over the last 7 games, 5-2. That's not bad. I'm not getting all excited. You shouldn't get all too excited with that either. I mean, yeah, they went 5-2. You Reds won yesterday, 4-0, shutting out the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 1 of a 4-game series that they have with the Pirates this weekend. Connor Overton went in 6 1/3 inning, 3 home runs, 3 hits, sorry, no runs allowed, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Tyler Stevenson, one of the key guys coming back from an injury or from his concussion, definitely back in the middle of April. He hit a home run in the 4th inning. He went 3 for 4. Highlight of the game there. It's nice to see the Reds put up some runs. It's down there. I was doing some statistic search in number crunching, and the Reds over the last 7 games put up 53 runs in 7 games. Only gave up 39. Okay, I don't know the exact number it is, and it's in that ballpark range. And then, all the other games is they barely mustered 50 plus runs in the first month of April, and they've accomplished that in the first week, I would say the first week of May. There's an article coming out here that the Reds are on a historical record of 125 loss rec pace if the way that things go. Now, it was interesting because I've kind of, I've been tuning into some of the Reds games audio wise. I understand how the season's progressing, but you got to kind of feel happy a little bit. Seeing Joey Votto stop making, coming back. The Reds have just been notorious for injury. Now, back on Wednesday, they actually had the Reds game on the YouTube channel. Now I don't have Cincinnati Bell cable. I got Hulu, which doesn't get the Bally Sports station for the Reds game, so I could only listen to the Cincinnati Reds. But I really enjoyed getting talking about or like listening to them, and you get guys like Luis Castillo's coming back. You got Tyler Stevenson returning. You got Nick Senzel, Tyler Naquin back in that lineup. All guys that you really need to contribute. Tyler Stevenson, another big name. Joey Votto. And yeah, the season has been rounded up through and through with injuries, and it's one of those process where it's a tough pill to swallow with how bad their season starts. I don't want to be the person to rat them out in, okay, they're not going to go nowhere this year. Now I highly doubt that they're going to make any stretch of some sort to be a postseason contender, because I mean, let's face it, a month that you deemed so hard you couldn't even get out of 5 wins in the month of April, even though it's only been a month since they've been playing baseball. It's still hard to come across. You can't start a season 7-30 and expect to, or 5-25, and you can't expect them to make a postseason run. They're not the St. Louis Cardinals, not with how Milwaukee's done. Now, what I would like to see the Reds do this season, this is what I would like to see them do. They got Pittsburgh. They go over to Cleveland. They'll go over to Toronto also before they come back home for Chicago. I like them to make an effort. Let's not be that team that, let's not be that team that just gives up. I don't want to be that team. I want to be the team that comes in there and gives a fighting effort. All right, let's now move forward as we start having people healthy. All right, let's see the Pirates on the road. Let's take that series again. Let's take the 2 in Cleveland. Let's try to do something with Toronto. And I understand you're not going to win every series, but let's try to avoid a losing stretch than the Reds had the month of April. Okay, the depth chart is not the greatest, but I mean, listen, come on, 7-24. It's just not. They're 12.5 games already out of first place. Gosh, I sure hope they don't. If they, I want them to prove everyone wrong by not even losing 100 games this year. Can they do that? You think they could do that? Let's have a little bit of faith with the Cincinnati Reds. Tyler Mahle would get the nod for the Reds today. He's 1 for 4 with the 6.4 ERA, 32 strikeouts. Mitch Keller will get the nod for the Pirates. He's 0 for 4, 6.11 ERA, 24 strikeouts. About similar matchups. I really do feel that you had a good outing in Overton last night. 6 1/3 of an inning. I want to kind of see that return again and see Overton. Listen, when you get guys to come in and put 5-6 innings together, take a little bit of stress off that bullpen, I think it helps out. All right, let's take a break. Let's come on back here and let's get you some NBA updates. Should Doc Rivers' job be in jeopardy after the Sixers lose? We'll talk about that coming up next here on Justin and Trey on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel.
One step forward, 2 steps backwards, yeah.
Discover your world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find the perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Epidemic Sound is a royalty-free music link. For more information, check out epidemicsound.com today.
What's it gonna take for you to love me? What's it gonna take for you to show?
Talking about Epidemic Sound here. This one is What's It Gonna Take by Catnip. King Sis. You can find this song on Epidemic Sound. I'm sure you can probably find it on any other audio platforms, but epidemic sound. TNC Sports Talk uses them, and it works. I like it. All right, NBA updates and more right after this quick ad. All right, you guys can join Steve Barber, Dwaylen Davis as they break down news and the highlights in professional wrestling. The Armchair Booking Podcast is a weekly wrestling podcast found on YouTube and all audio streaming platforms. Go check out and follow Armchair Booking now. And I tell you, they've had a couple of really good episodes. One thing I have to agree with Armchair Booking is that I didn't watch the entire show of Backlash. What do you want to call it? Not WrestleMania. WrestleMania Backlash. I don't watch the entire episode, program, premiere live, whatever you want to call it. But was it okay? Let me ask you this, because I think that was one of the questions: was how good this show was. And I'm going to dive more into it at the top of the hour, just in thoughts and opinions, because I talked to Trey about it yesterday, and I was very disappointed about something, and I want to address that. But they had an episode on Tuesday that showed, hey, this was WrestleMania Backlash, a good premium live, and I think I have to agree, it wasn't bad. It's just I have a bone to pick with the WWE. Maybe you agree, disagree. I haven't watched the entire episode, so I don't even know what Armchair Booking had to take on it. But still love to elaborate with them. Still love to talk to them about it. And go check them out. They had another one. All the titles aren't being defended. Some of the things we'll be talking about here over the weekend as Trey joins us back tomorrow. But let's get down into the NBA. Let's get you guys updated on the NBA playoffs, because listen, last night, a couple things happened. Dallas Mavericks tied the Phoenix Suns. Now, let me throw this out there to you guys. I'm a little impressed to see exactly the Dallas Mavericks tying the series, forcing a Game 7 that, if I'm not mistaken, will be played on Sunday. Yeah. Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns will be playing on Sunday, Game 7. The time has not been announced yet, but that series has been tied. And I'm like I said, I'm impressed coming into this game here. And then now you also have, but I think one thing that really shocked me last night, well, I guess it doesn't shock me, but the Miami Heats beating the Philadelphia 76ers, I guess it was the score. It was 99-90. And you had Jimmy Butler over in Miami, 32 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists. Joel Embiid. You got to remember, this guy, he's playing with the fractured orbital bone, all right, broken face practically. All right, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists here. All right, and the Sixers couldn't get it done. They lose to the Heat's 4-2, so they're not advancing to that semifinal round. And it's now we're seeing that real picture. I think there's more questions right now going after the 76ers. Okay, one of the things I was listening into, should Doc Rivers' job be in jeopardy? Listen, I couldn't tell you if that's something that should be happening or shouldn't be happening. But I think one thing I got frustrated after listening to Doc's response after losing to Miami last night, he wasn't taking any accountability. He was utterly confident that he's going to stick around. And listen, he's a great coach. I don't have anything against him. But at what point does a coach take accountability? Now, yeah, they went to the playoffs. They won the first round. They waited to the Heats. They just couldn't get the job done with the Heats. And you start looking at the fractions. Joel, listen, I give that man credit till the cows come home, man. All right. Joel Embiid, great, man. This is a guy that shows you he wants to play regardless of his injury. I break my orbital. I'm going to call him the next Undertaker if that's the case, because you want to break your orbital bone and still go out there and put on a competition in a basketball game where you need your entire body to physically move, just like a wrestling match. There's just, I give him props. Now, here's the thing. Joel, you got to remember, Joel is not at 100%. He broke his face. Why is he playing? All right. And the question is that, all right, so when you have talent guys like Joel and James Harden, when one guy goes down, the other guy got to step up. Now, James Harden, he's been meant for the play. He's meant to be in this position. Where was he this entire series? Nowhere to be found. Let's not forget. He only he was averaging 4 points a game. That's it. So where was James Harden? The only good game he had was game 4, where he ended up putting up 18 points. That was it. That's all he had. Okay, he went 0 for 2 yesterday. Okay, for a guy who needs to step up, he's a veteran. He's that locker room. He's considered to be that locker room leader. I think there's a lot of questions in Philadelphia. So let me ask you this. Who won that deal at the end of the day? The 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets? I know the Brooklyn Nets didn't get out of the first round, but they had a lot of other problems that if it worked in their favor, they would have had a lot more going on. We start looking at games today, all right, Friday the 13th. You got Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. Hey, listen, Boston Celtics trying to make a comeback. Jason Tatum, come on, okay? Against Giannis, this is going to be a big one. I can't wait to talk about this tomorrow. That's going to be on ESPN. That's at 7:30. And then the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Golden State Warriors. Another interesting, good series. I thought for sure that Golden State should be sealing the deal tonight. All right. The way that these series have gone down, both the Bucks, both the Grizzlies should be sealing the deal tonight. If that's not the case, all right, we have to go to Monday. There's no games tomorrow, by the way. But if we got to go to Sunday, if necessary, Game 7, the Bucks and the Celtics will play at 3:30 p.m. And then Monday, if there's a Game 7, you have the Warriors and the Grizzlies at 8:30. I would like by next Tuesday or Wednesday at least, next Wednesday, a game, the next round starts, semifinal starts. Gosh, these NBA playoffs are just so long. I don't know how you like that here, but that is your NBA updates here. So listen, all right, hour number 1's complete in the books. We're going to come back for hour number 2 here in just a few moments. One thing I want to address. All right, we're going to still talk about this. I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and I lose it. Okay. I want to talk about RK Bro stepping into the bloodline. Is this a smart idea, you guys? I want to know from you guys. Is this a smart idea that RK Bro goes to SmackDown tonight and try to challenge the Usos to unify the titles? Especially knowing that the bloodline's the fraction that's running SmackDown forever or for this entire time. I want to talk a little bit about Theory's rise. Plus, I do want to get into the NFL because the season was breakaway. I have Sunday night football game here. I got Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night football games here. I got the Bengals schedule here. I will reveal all of that to you still coming up. Thank you guys for watching TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We thank you guys for tuning in. I'm glad to be back, man. I'm just glad. We're going to cut to a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to continue our show. Hour number 2 comes up next, Justin and Trey, right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel.
true love, boo. But this ain't true love, this ain't me right here, so I'm gonna leave you.
All right. Welcome back here on Justin and Trey. I'm Justin. Trey will be back tomorrow. I believe we'll be coming live at noon to 2. Tomorrow, the 14th of May. Excuse me. All right, so I was just thinking about during the break the direction that we are going to go in here for hour number 2. And I kind of want to go in the NFL direction for a moment because this is the direction that we're running in. And I want to give us every opportunity to cover, especially the Sunday, Monday, and the Thursday night football games, kind of talk to you about some of the things before we come by to kind of come back around and talk about the WWE, especially. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now will be talked about over the weekend with Trey when he comes on and he joins the program. So, but I want to get to you guys right off the bat, the Cincinnati Bengals schedule, because this schedule has been posted, it's been updated, and now it's here. And this may not be the biggest, clearest image that you guys can see, but so let me read it to you. The Bengals schedule, because it came out last night. And for the first time, for me, the Bengals, when the NFL put out their schedule for this season, I was like, well, all right, let's do this because I want to now be involved and get into it. And I'm already feeling that football vibe. Let me put it that way. That football vibe. I'm just interested. So here's the Bengals schedule. Now, coming off with the preseason here, we start off with the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Giants, and the Los Angeles Rams. And so that's going to be the biggest season. Now, I'm pretty sure, and I'll talk with Trey about this, but I want to kind of get an idea of what every team and their schedule is going to be looking like. So over the next few weeks, we'll probably be breaking down all other 31 teams, including the Bengals, and start talking about that, especially. It's a good subject filler. I'm looking over this. They kick things off. The Bengals kick things off, which I think is great because they kick things off on 9/11, September 11th, the first Sunday at 1 p.m. against Pittsburgh at home. Now, I think this is a big game. The only concern that I have with this game is that I believe and I feel that this game should be in prime time format. That's all I feel. All right, it should be a Sunday. I should be, we have the Rams kicking. The Super Bowl champions typically kick things off in the first Thursday night football game of the season. Will the the Cincinnati Bengals, who were the runners-up, let me put it that way, they should be the one who gets to have a Sunday night football or a Monday night football to kick things off on the season. I'm a little disappointed, but I love the first opponent that the Bengals face, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. I love that. Fantastic. They head on over to Dallas and New York to face the Cowboys and the Jets. I think those first two games are going to be great. Hey, how do you think the Bengals are going to start the season? The Steelers and the Cowboys, great way to start off. Then they come home to Miami. They're back on the road for Baltimore and New Orleans, which are going to be another testaments to their time. That Baltimore game is going to be a Sunday night football game. That Monday night, there's a Thursday night football game on week 4, September 29th. That's a Monday night. So you see the Miami, the second home game of the season. That's Thursday night football action. And then that following road game against the Ravens, that's Sunday night football. All right, then they'll be home for the Atlanta Falcons, all right, on October 23rd. Then they are playing Monday night's game at Cleveland on Halloween. That's a Monday night's game. And within the first half of the season, because then they come home to Carolina and then they'll have their bye week on week 10. The first half of the season, you're already seeing Thursday night football game, two Sunday night football games. If I'm not, one Sunday night football. I'm sorry. You have a Thursday night, Sunday night, and a Monday night football game all within the first half of the season, and it doesn't end there. And this is what I really enjoy about it. Then they go over they come back from the bye. They go over to Pittsburgh. They go over to Tennessee. All right. And this, if the Steelers are contending, if the Titans are going to contend, this is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be a great experience. And then they come home to face the Chiefs and the Browns back-to-back games. Now, that week 11, all right, I'm just going to backpedal here, November 20th, right before Thanksgiving. That's going to be at 8:20. That's a Sunday night game. All right. Coming on to week 15, as you see here, they face the Buccaneers. That's going to be a good game. All right. This was going to be, see, the way I see the Bengals here, the Bengals are facing those Buccaneers on week December 18th, week 15. This is going to be that match that we were probably we should have saw at the Super Bowl this year, but we didn't because the Rams beat the Buccaneers. And then they're going to go over to New England and face the Patriots. All right. And then they have a Monday night game against Buffalo. So you think about this. 2 Sunday nights, 2 Monday nights, and a Thursday night football game. A lot of great football action. And then they finish things off against Baltimore. The only thing that I would suppress to you about the Bengals schedule here is that I don't like how the first half of the season, so there's going to be 9 road games this year and 8 home games this year because of that off schedule. They got a lot of back-to-back road games, which I don't like. And I'm a little feared. So, and what I do like about this schedule so far, and I can't wait to talk to Trey about this, okay, is you kick off the season at home against Pittsburgh, but then you go on the road to Dallas. So you get that 1-2 punch combination, but then you're going to have a couple weeks to relax. Now, I don't know how much you're going to be able to relax against the Jets and the Dolphins, okay? But that's you're going to be able to sit there and kind of take a break for a moment before you go over to Baltimore and New Orleans, which I feel like that's going to be a tough scenario. I mean, I feel like when you go on the road to New York and play at MetLife Stadium, that's going to be a challenge. When you go to Baltimore and New Orleans, I feel like those are going to be challenges. I don't know how Cleveland's going to be. And right off the bat, in the first 8 weeks, I'm counting wins already. And I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They should be playing 6-2, 7-1 on the first half of the season already, which puts themselves in tremendous position here. Now, then you start looking at the back half of the season. You got Pittsburgh, and then you got Tennessee on the road games. They're never fun to be on the road. All right, it's never fun to play your season on the road. I'm not a big fan of it. Are you? Yeah, let me know. Let me down in the comments. I want to get more about that with Trey. And then you got to face Kansas City, but that's at home again. And then you got to face Tampa Bay on the road in New England. I feel like that's going to be the biggest struggle coming in because you got Tampa Bay, New England, Buffalo, Baltimore. Okay. So the first half, I think the first half of this season for the Bengals is where it's going to be at. Okay. And when I say it's where it's going to be at, I mean, this is where it's going to be. And if you can come across in a significant 7-1, 6-2 stretch in the first half of the season, then you really need to, then I think you put yourself in a great position. But that's given the fact that people stay healthy. That's given the fact that you also have these offensive linemen staying healthy as well. So there's a lot that rides on the plate. But I love the prime time attention. When we come back, that's the Bengals. Now, we'll break down more of that as the time goes on. We'll probably break down more of the NFL just overall schedule in each team and think, okay, who is going to win? Who's going to do this and do that? When we come back, and I'm going to do this a little longer segment, I got Thursday night football, I got Sunday night football, and I got Monday night football coming your way. Don't go nowhere. Justin and Trey continues, and we'll take a look at the week 1. Justin and Trey continues here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. You guys, hour number 2 is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, before you guys get your next event, before you buy your tickets to the next baseball game, before you guys get your NFL tickets, because the tickets are going on sale here soon, make sure you stop by SeatGeek.com. And when you spend your first purchase, $50 or more, all right, make sure you use promo code TNC Sports Talk. And I'm not just talking about sporting events. You want to get Disney on Ice tickets, you want to get concert tickets, make sure whatever venue you want to go to, you stop by SeatGeek first. And sign up. It's free. And on your first transaction of $50 or more, use the promo code TNC20. Or TNC Sports Talk, sorry. And save yourself 20%. Head on over to SeatGeek.com now and check them out. Justin and Trey here for 2 straight hours. We're wrapping up a day, coming back here, and we're going to be talking about the NFL Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football games here. And I'm just telling you right now, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm not worried. I'm not used to the heat. So we broadcast this show from home, and I don't mind it. I enjoy it. I love the comfort having my own studio, not an office to go into. But then I'm having the windows open, and it's been warm. I'm talking about 80, 90 degrees already this week. No, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. But I'm telling you, I'm not ready. I'm not used to the heat. I'm not ready for the heat. And I have this table fan that's only, it's providing enough work. It's only providing so much. I got my do-rag, for sweat because God knows me. I'm going to sweat a lot. But, it's very nice, very pleasant. I wish it would stay like this the entire summer. Like, I feel like if this is the worst it's going to be, I'm hoping that this is the worst it's going to be. But if that's the case, then I'm pleasant. All right. Trey's joining us tomorrow. Let's continue talking about some sports here and about the NFL, because these, I'm not breaking down every single team and their schedule and what I predict. We're going to do that as the schedule goes on. I think it's going to be appropriate. I think we have enough time. I think I want to do one team per day, per episode. And I want Trey to join and give his thoughts and takes on each and every game or each and every team and the way that their season's lined up and how they're, set into place. We got Sunday night football. Well, okay, let's go back because Thursday night football kicks off. I believe it's part of the Sunday package deal. Okay, so we'll start off with Sunday night football, and then Thursday night football, the first game of the season. As a matter of fact, which one do I have it up here? Nope, that's week 2. There we go. All right, so this is, I was just projected. Is that Monday? That's week 1. All right. So let's do this. Let's get into week 1 of the NFL and let's kind of read you through the games. We'll go this direction. So kicking off the NFL season, just like tradition, the Rams, the Super Bowl defending champions, will get the first home game of the season. This case, what you're seeing is the Rams taking on the Buffalo Bills. Primetime game on Thursday night. Now, for some reason, this is part of week 1. But they don't have it on Thursday night football list. They don't have it on Monday night. So I don't really know what to expect. But in other words, yeah, that's how it is. All right. Then we're going to jump down to Sunday's games, and I'm just going to kind of, revent to you these Sunday's games. Now, we'll have plenty of time to talk about this. I'm not losing this. We have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Carolina Panthers. All right. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. You have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Astros. What I'm hoping to notice, and I'm not seeing this a lot, I'm prone to seeing good matchups on the first week. And let me know if these are good matchups to you. Baltimore Ravens taking on the New York Jets. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing Arizona. The Green Bay Packers are over in Minnesota. Right now, there's only 2 home games as far as this list. The Buccaneers are playing the Cowboys Sunday Night Football. We'll get back to that. So on that left side of the column, there's only 3 home games I see that are very interesting. The Cowboys, the Cardinals, or 4, right? Cowboys, Cardinals, Bengals, and Rams, which is spread out over Thursday, Sunday night. The Saints and the Falcons, the 49ers and the Bears, the Eagles and the Lions, the Patriots over in Miami to face the Dolphins, Jaguars against Washington, the Raiders versus the Chargers, the Giants against the Titans, and then we got the Broncos against Seattle. So I'm going to leave this up here and talk to you for a minute about this because I think this is interesting to proceed as we look at the week 1 schedule here. And first of all, let's talk about that Thursday night football game, that first game of the season. I think this is an incredible matchup because, after seeing what Josh Allen has been talking about, how they're great, he's great friends with Patrick Mahomes. They're doing a lot of stuff. There is a lot of positives. I think this is a great start because, the Bills have, first of all, the Rams want to do a repeat and they want to do a retake. I get that. But then the Bills, they kind of need to show that they belong again. Now, I know some people will say that they got robbed out of an opportunity back in the postseason because they didn't get a chance to have the ball. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, Bills, you can't get a perfect opportunity than this here. The Steelers and the Bengals, that's going to be a game I want to watch. That's going to be an exciting game. And as of right now, that is the only morning game that I'm interested in. We get to the afternoon games in week 1. You see Kansas City and Arizona. That's going to be a game. It's interesting because I heard about this. Kansas City Chiefs are going to be they get probably one of the most weirdest schedule because the first time in NFL history, a team is scheduled the first half of the season against teams that have a winning record. The Chiefs are the first NFL team to ever be scheduled their first 8 to 9 games of the season with a winning record. Their first easy game that you could practically say, hey, you're going to draw up a win. That's going to be against the Jacksonville Jaguars on week 10. So, Kansas City, you're in for a rude awakening. You say you're the dominant one. You're saying that the Cincinnati Bengals shouldn't have won the AFC Championship. Well, listen, first 8 weeks are on you. Let's see what you're able to do. The Raiders and the Chargers. All right. And I'll know we'll talk about the Chiefs more down the line. And then you also have, Green Bay and, Minnesota is not really impressive. But these last 2 games, Sunday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, listen, last year, the season started off with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. So I'm not impressed. I'm not listen, Cowboys want to be that team, or at least be that team that's known for, hey, let's get into business and let's do this. They want to. I think a lot of people were very upset with how they lost during the postseason against the San Francisco 49ers. So I feel like this is that prominence state where, hey, you have to, let's step up to the plate. If you're the Cowboys, and you get the home game, you're facing Tom Brady. And what's going to be interesting about Tom Brady this year is because he's cutting that new deal with Fox, that most of his games are going to be highlighted on Fox. So also, I do want to point this out. Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks. After this big offseason talk and how Russell Wilson got traded from Seattle to Denver, and this whole, hey, let's break down our roster. It feels like Seattle's doing the same thing that the Oakland A's are doing. Well, Russell Wilson will not hesitate, and they're being forced to go right back into the season, or right back into Seattle for the first game of the season. That's Monday Night Football. So what do you guys think of week 1 of the NFL? I want to get to you guys the Sunday night, Thursday night. Now, some of the things here we're going to be talking about. Let's start off with Sunday Night Football. I'm going to kind of ram through these. Well, like I said, I'm just mentioning through these. We could talk more about it with the as the season progresses, or as we get closer to the season. But we got the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Like I said, this is a rematch from last year. We also have the Bears and Packers week 2. We got the 49ers and the Broncos in week 3, which I think is going to be another great one. And I feel like this, the Broncos is going to be a team to look out for just because Russell Wilson's on the team. We also have week 4, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl rematch. This is Sunday Night Football. We have the Bengals and the Ravens, as we mentioned, the Cowboys, Eagles, the Steelers and the Dolphins. Coming afterwards, the Packers and the Bills, the Titans and the Chiefs, the Chargers and the 49ers, the Bengals and the Steelers, which you got to have Sunday Night Football at some point, Packers and Eagles, Colts and Cowboys, Chiefs and Broncos, Patriots and Raiders, Tampa Bay and Arizona, and then the Chargers and Rams. And then there's going to be one more on the 8th of January next year. We just don't know yet, and that will be to determine. So if you think about the Chargers have 2, the Bengals have 2. All right, average. Cowboys get 3. Buccaneers get 1, 2. They get 3. 49ers get 2. Kansas City gets 3. I said Cowboys get 3. Philadelphia gets 2. Pittsburgh gets 2. Ravens get 1. There's no Cleveland on there. Okay. Let's jump on over to the Thursday Night Football. Let's do that. Thursday Night Football is going to be looking a little bit different here. The Chargers and Chiefs, we talked about that already. That was pre-announced during the draft. Then in week 2, you got in week 3, you got the Steelers and the Browns. 4, you got the Dolphins and the Bengals. Followed by the Colts and the Broncos. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. In Washington will be over in Chicago for week 6. Saints in Arizona. Baltimore taking on Tampa Bay. Philadelphia taking on Houston. Atlanta taking on Carolina. Week 10. Green Bay will host Tennessee. Buffalo will take on the Patriots. The Rams will take on the Raiders or the Chargers. That's the Rams. Will take on the Raiders. The Seahawks and the 49ers, week 16 or week 15. Yeah, because they don't have Thursday night. They don't have that Thanksgiving football up yet, that schedule. So that's still yet to be determined. Unless I just haven't checked that part of the schedule. The Jets and the Jaguars. And then last but not least will be the Cowboys and the Titans. Let me go over Monday Night Football here. So you have Denver and Seattle, which I told you that's going to be a big one. You got 2 on September 19th. That's going to be Tennessee and Buffalo and Minnesota and Philadelphia. I don't know if there's going to be any more than that. We'll have to wait to see. Dallas will take on the Giants. Rams taking on the 49ers afterwards. The Raiders taking on the Chiefs. Denver's taking on the Chargers. The Bears taking on the Patriots. Denver again is on the road to play Jacksonville. That's going to be the international game, and that's going to actually be on Sunday, October 30th, in London. Then you got Cincinnati taking on Cleveland. You also got Baltimore taking on New Orleans, Washington and Philadelphia, San Francisco and Arizona, Pittsburgh and Indianapolis, New Orleans taking on Tampa Bay, New England taking on Arizona, the Rams in Green Bay, Chargers and Indianapolis, Buffalo and Cincinnati, and the last one's going to be doubleheader on January 7th. So I know that's a list. I know that's a lot of teams naming right there. But trust me on this one here. We're going to break down more games. I just wanted to get it out there to you guys. We'll break down more games and we'll talk about that. All right, let's take a cut to a break. When we come on back, we will talk. Last thing on football, when we come on back, there's one team that has not been announced for a primetime game at all. And we'll let you guys know who that is coming up here on TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel.
Feeling low, want you to know I ain't got much to show. Baby, I'm slow, all creeping to my eyes, snail show. Until the spring liberates me from my winter hell. I've got candles and candy, I can be your daddy if you own me.
All right.
Creeping to your presence hell. Hey baby, can you tell?
A couple of things we'll talk about tomorrow is
I want you to stay.
I'm just going to talk about that when that comes up. All right, so you know what? Let me bring this up to your attention, you guys. There's only one NFL team out there this season that is not getting any primetime attention at all. Can you guys guess who that team is? Can you? We're going to find out right after this quick promotional item. You guys can check out and support the future stars today at NWF Wrestling. See Adam Swayze, Rex, Sean Evans, Ella, Riley Matthews, Big Mama, and the Great King Tyan, and more as they show off their talent in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Become a part of the NWF Army by heading on out to the weekly events. Find more information at nwfwrestling.com. All right, talk about NWF really fast, and I'll get to that team. Okay, tonight, if you guys are in the local area, you got nothing to do, head down to Bone Crushers tonight. I can't explain this enough. I went there 2 weeks ago, all right, at their last final event. First of all, it was an incredible match. I had an incredible show, all right? I want to thank all the future stars. I want to thank, Sean Evans, Great King Tyan. You got a chance to see Joe Pro James, Riley Matthews, Savannah Steele. I mean, there's so many, so many great matches that happened that night. It was from my understanding, for what I was told, it was the biggest crowd that Bone Crusher had all month, and they were celebrating their 3-year anniversary at Bone Crushers. Well, let me tell you this about Bone Crushers, okay? Because Bone Crushers, it's a smaller compact. It's not no big environment. It's not like Ludlow. It's not like Covington. It's a little bit more compact. It's up down the streets in Cincinnati. Okay, it's probably about a 25 minute drive from where I'm at today. But if you get a chance, Noah Gabriel will be facing Warlock in a body bag match. Okay, I'm serious. Body bag match. You don't want to miss that out. All right. Body bag match tonight. Bone Crushers. Noah Gabriel, Warlock. All of that could be seen. I think it's like $7 a ticket. Like really inexpensive. You're seeing the future stars, the stars that are in training, making their uprise at Bone Crushers. Okay. They will be, I believe, in Mount Orab tomorrow. And then they will be back in Covington next Saturday on the 21st. And then also, while we're talking about NWF Wrestling, they also have they got Revolution Rising, which I want to thank NWF and PGWA. We are sponsoring a match, and we want to wish the best of luck to Ella. And I'm probably going to butcher this name. Is it Nevaeh? Which is going to be an incredible match. The entire match card is going to be incredible. But listen, I want to wish everyone the best of luck. at Revolution Rising. I know Trey and I will be down there on that Saturday. It's going to be May the 28th. So make sure you mark your calendars, head down to the event. For more information, check out nwfwrestling.com. Get your tickets. You don't want to miss out. And let's go out there and support these females competing. The revolution of women wrestling begins with NWF. Okay, NWF and PGWA. All right, before we hit the break, we got to get to you that one team that is not getting a primetime game this year. You ready for it? That is the Detroit Lions. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me. I can't tell you. But the Detroit Lions are the only team that is not on a that's not really getting a. I believe every other team is getting like two primetime games. I'm looking through this right now. I don't see a single Detroit Lions game announced. Let me pop up these list again. That's week 1. I don't see Detroit Lions. You see Detroit Lions, pop it out. Let me know down in the comments. All right. I don't see Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are the only team not getting that first, not getting a primetime game in the NFL this year, which sucks. Like, how do you? I understand that there is a certain that the season, the primetime games, there is a static. There is a way about this. Talking about that, I have it popped up here. The first 9 weeks, or they have the week 9 bye, week 8 bye. But here's the schedule for the Chiefs. And what I was talking about earlier, the Cardinals, the Chargers, this is their schedule. The Colts, the Buccaneers, the Raiders are all right down the line. Maybe I could pull it up because I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, let that load. But still, the Lions did not get a primetime game. All right. I was talking about the Chiefs, and this is why I'm talking about the Chiefs. The first 9 games this year are played by teams who are in the winning column, who are won over 500 last season. We're talking about the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Chargers, the Colts, the Buccaneers, the Raiders, the Bills, is that the 49ers? Yeah, the 49ers. And then they got a bye on week 8, and then they face the Titans on week 9 before they go and they're home to face the Jaguars. But their schedule is not going to be a walk through the park at all. Maybe towards the end of the season, but gosh, they're going to have to step it up. Let's see how good the Chiefs really are. All right, let's take our last final break of the show. When we come back, we will finish talking about Roman Reigns' contract. That was a big conversation for today. He signed that new mega deal. Let's get you guys ready for SmackDown tonight. Arcade Pro, like I said, man, they're just digging their graves going into SmackDown, but that's on them. Justin and Trey continues to wrap things up here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. All right, last promotional sell. I forgot to do some PR work here. You can shop TNC Sports Talk merchandise today at TeePublic. Get your shirts, phone cases, mugs, and more. Grab your favorite Sports Talk show gear today by heading on over to www.tpublic.com/user/TNC-sports-talk. All right. Can't wait for Trey to be back tomorrow. As we come back to you live at noon right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. And there's a couple of things, a lot of things to anticipate to talk about this weekend. And as we start talking about it, I'll mention up some storylines here. I really want you to kind of just soak this in. If you are armchair booking, you guys are listening in. I think you guys covered a lot of it as well. There's a lot of things I want to get underway. There's a lot of things that happened. Like I said, last Thursday, my that storm that came through last Thursday night, some leakage came from my ceiling. We had that covered, but it got on my computer. I had to send that in, had to get that done. So I appreciate the team that took care of my laptop, got it back yesterday, got it up and running, and now we're set to go. And as we start, as Trey comes back, as we start finding our groove and what needs to happen and how things are happening, stuff like that. There's, we're going to find our rhythm again and get back on the rolling track. Talking tomorrow and this weekend, conversations like how long does it take for the WWE or to know if you're ready for the WWE or not, right? This goes towards the athletes that were released by NXT. We're talking about those 7 athletes. I think I've talked about them before already. All right. This was right before Trey left, that week before. I talked a little bit about them. I mentioned this because there's about one thing that stuck with me, that it stuck with me about one of a former wrestler who spoke on behalf of how long does it take to know if if you're, to get acclimated to a brand, to a roster, or to a program. And they mentioned it was going to take about 3 to 4 months on everyday television for you to get seen and to have fans decide if they're going to get behind you or not, whether they like you or not, doesn't matter, but to get behind you and want to see you. A great example that we saw this year was a few guys I could point out. Wardlow from AEW. He was a guy who was getting a push at the beginning of the year, and he was up on television each and every week. Now, he didn't have to have a match each and every week, but he was up there on television, and that's where people after a couple months started realizing, all right, either we're going to get behind him or he's a no-go. I feel that is different. It's difficult, extremely more difficult, and it takes more time when you have guys down on Rampage, which, by the way, not a lot of people watch Rampage. Okay, and I could talk blue in the face, and I have a little, giggles about what's going on with Rampage alone. But, and I want to address that with Trey, and not enough time on this show. But here's the deal. If you're on NXT, if you're on Rampage, I feel like it's going to take you a few more, because these are shows that are not being shown. They're on TV, but they're not being presented on the main brand or the main roster, right? And that, I think, conflicts, because I think that it's about an 8 to 12 week period that it was mentioned that in order to be shown, right, to see if fans got behind you or not, they said it was about 8 to 12 week period to see if that was going to work out or not. That's only on Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, maybe Impact. But when you go to these developmental programs like NXT, like Ring of Honor, like even like Rampage, and I will throw Rampage in there, no questions about it, I think it takes a little bit longer. So I say about 7 or 8 months. But you got to remember that these talents that were already being released, hey, sometimes it's not what the WWE sees, and it's not the talent's fault. But then you also, yet again, there's some talent that's been there since day one. Great person. I hear talked about all the time. Dakota Kai, great talent, athlete, but she's been there in that league a little too long. And it's either she's going to get pushed up why would the WWE push up Dakota Kai if they don't see her being utilized? I would have loved to see her come up with Raquel Gonzalez, but apparently the WWE didn't see it. So what do you do? Well, move on. Let her go have success somewhere else. RK Bro is making their way over to SmackDown tonight. Now, from my understanding, there is a a lot of writing going on this, because I know that there was that Bloodline, that Roman Reigns sent the Usos to Raw to collect those Raw tag team titles. And so that's what the Usos did. It turned into a 6-man tag match, which I am furious about, because that 6-man tag match ended up being the main event for WrestleMania Backlash, which, by the way, the only thing I did not like about WrestleMania Backlash was that being the main event. I told you this from the beginning. The whole purpose of the Royal Rumble winners was to have the main event moment for WrestleMania. And for me, the main event moment is the last match of night 1 and night 2. Now, you have 2 nights of WrestleMania, and you have 2 Royal Rumble winners. Well, come on. Let's put the math together. You should have one Royal Rumble winner, main event night 1, and the other Royal Rumble winner, main event night 2. Now, I believe Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair are main event caliber talent. Especially with this stipulation, which for me, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, highlighted the entire WrestleMania Backlash. It was set in stone, the first SmackDown, the aftermath SmackDown of WrestleMania. So you're telling me that they do not deserve a WrestleMania moment. Now there's rumors, and I've been told by Trey, that Charlotte Flair has a leave of absence, I believe because she's getting married. And if that's the case, congratulations. I don't know how long you'll be gone. Go take your time. You've done enough. I appreciate what you've done on SmackDown. Enjoy your wedding. Enjoy your time. But when you set up a match like an I Quit match, which was already tough for me to determine who was going to win and who was going to lose, I wanted to see that match the main event. Did you guys not? I mean, it should have been the main event. I wanted to see that 6-man tag match as the number 1 match, the first match of the night. All right. But Ronda and Charlotte deserved to close out that show. They didn't close out WrestleMania night 1. They should have closed out the WrestleMania Backlash. So I'm frustrated about that. But coming back to SmackDown, RK Bro, okay, and after successfully defeating and retaining the Raw, was it a title match, I believe? The Raw tag team titles on this past Monday. They're going to be heading into the Bloodline territory on SmackDown to challenge the Usos. Now, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this on the air. You guys are stupid. What are you guys looking for? Now, okay. There's rumors potentially Roman Reigns and Randy Orton for WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind seeing that match happen, but come on. Come on, bro. Okay, God. Why are you guys putting yourself in a position where you guys are just going to hand deliver those SmackDown titles to the Bloodline? I want to know. I'm kind of lost in this. I mean, knowing that you got Roman Reigns not appearing now, he's on a part-time schedule, okay? And I don't have nothing against the part-time schedule. I believe he needs time off, like I mentioned earlier, but he's on a part-time schedule. So part-time, you have a part-timer, and then you got the Usos trying to step up to the plate. You're going to unify those titles. That means there's no tag team titles on Raw. There's no main title on Raw. Now you're losing the original flagship show. There's nothing saving it, because even Trey will come on here and tell you that you're getting tired of seeing Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. It was the same storyline or same scenario as if you're seeing, Edge and Seth Rollins last year. So where does dividends meet? All right. I don't know what is carrying Raw. How come they haven't approached a new format of champions? Because I told you there's 2 ways that you're going to be able to play this out. You're either going to have the unified title go back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, and I'm telling you, when he goes back and forth, you got to go back and forth. There's no you can't get out of it. You got to go back and forth. It's either you go back and forth and then you defend, number 1 contenders on each side once a month, or You have to create new titles that are distinctively different than what Roman Reigns and now the Usos potentially are going to have. But yet again, the WWE has not yet made, other than Cody Rhodes, who has brought back the fact that he wants to win a title, which I will see when I will believe it when I see it, because Edge said that he came back from his injury to win back the title he never lost, and look where he's at. He's the leader of the Judgment Day faction. So I want to talk more about that tomorrow. It's one of those things where there's like you're getting one direction, and I think you're okay with it, but then it leads you to a million questions afterwards, because how long can the WWE hold knowing that they don't have anything going for Raw? I'm looking forward to listening to the Armchair Booking podcast latest episode about WWE not defending their championships. And I want to see the fact on that and see how that goes out. Well, hey, listen, thank you guys for tuning in. We are back and we are live, and the schedule may change. Okay, bear with us, but we will start seeing episodes again. Trey will come back tomorrow, our show from 12 to 2, and be talking all about he will talk about his baseball game that he's going to, because he's going to the Florence Shawls tonight. You want to talk about his vacation in Florida, so we want to welcome him back. You guys tune on in tomorrow, and we'll talk some more sports with you guys. All right, Reds over in Pittsburgh tonight. You got SmackDown tonight. What else is going on? All right, let's get out of here on a Friday. You guys take care. Justin and Trey will be back again tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching.